Hey everyone, welcome to the Withering Effect, episode 124. Today's date is December 5th, 2021, and I am Duds, or Duds Versus, known to the rest of the interwebs.
And I am Jimbo. You may know me as Jimbo Slice 23. So what have you been up to this week, Duds?
As some in the chat have called, not a lot of Battlefield, or not a lot of Minecraft, but a lot of Battlefield.
Okay.
I made mention after my Copper Farm episode of My Own Survival that I was going to take a bit of a Minecraft break. We have Ripple Effect right around the corner, so I know I'm going to be like full-fledged doing nothing other than Minecraft. And Battlefield's one of my favorite franchises, so it's come out at kind of a great time where I can just do nothing but play Battlefield, which is awesome. I love it. I know it's getting a lot of like hate right now in the internet verse. Of course, there's a lot of things that are getting a lot of hate in the internet verse, and those of you who like to spread said hate, your life would be so much easier if you just find good things about stuff, even if it's not your favorite stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done with this Battlefield. At the core, this Battlefield game is one of the most fun games I've ever played. Yes, it has bugs. Yes, it has bad design mechanics in certain spots. But at its core, this is a really fun game, and I'm enjoying my time with it.
Cool.
Yeah. We did stream Minecraft Friday. I let people vote on it, and they said, stop it with the Battlefield. We want Minecraft. So we did some Minecraft. Well, we actually worked on the launcher because my launcher had messed up, and instead of using the 8 gigs of RAM I dedicate to Java, it was using 2. So I was getting a lot of performance issues. I couldn't figure out what was causing it, and then I saw the 2 gigs RAM. I said, that's not right. That's supposed to be 8. And it turns out when doing the new launcher update, which, by the way, Mojang, that launcher, it's not good. I have it on stream. When I double click the icon to open the launcher, it takes close to 3 to 5 minutes for that launcher to actually open up.
Wow.
Yeah, people on stream are like, what? And then I'll click on the old launcher, like that.
Yeah.
Takes absolutely nothing to open the old launcher up and work fine.
That is weird.
So it's like, yeah, no, I don't use the new launcher. It's hot garbage.
I try not to either.
Yeah. I get the idea of why you want to have everything combined into the single launcher, you know, Dungeons and Bedrock. I only play Java on my computer. My Dungeons is on a Switch and I don't play Bedrock. But yeah, I'm sticking with the old launcher. It works for me. Hopefully they don't cancel it or delete it or whatever.
Yeah.
But other than the villagers in the copper farm, the only other big Minecraft thing that happened for me this weekend we had the Ripple Season 4 meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And I say meetings because we had 2 meetings yesterday. And let's just say Ripple Season 4 is going to be completely different than most of what we saw last season. And it's really different than what a lot of other SMPs are doing. And I'm extremely excited for it.
Yeah, and I wasn't able to make those meetings.
No.
I had mic issues. Like, the past few days, I would get on Discord, and I would talk to a friend of mine on there, and they couldn't hear me. I'm like, what? Hold on a sec. Let me check my mic setting. And I checked. Everything was where it needed to be. Nothing was wrong. You know, it didn't. I was unplugging plugs, putting them back in, messing with the knobs, which was a bad idea, as we saw.
Yeah, don't ever mess with the knobs.
At the beginning of the show, we had to get my levels back right. Yeah, apparently I clicked in the settings. I checked out my settings on the computer. Apparently I clicked off on allowing my apps to use my microphone. And I don't know when I did that or how I did that. I'm thinking maybe something came up where it asked me if an app could use my microphone. And I was probably like, heck no, you can't. And it turned it off for all of them. But you'd think I'd remember doing that, so I don't know how it got turned off. I'm sure I did it somehow, some way, but got turned off. Or an update. Update could have done it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it working this morning. Thank God. You know, it's actually, we're able to do the podcast in that case. But I heard good things from the meeting. Pretty excited too. Besides that, I have been editing in my episode of Minecraft. So much editing to where I wasn't able to detail my base. And I don't think I'll have the time to do all that detailing.
No, I was going to say, you just kind of got the notice like, hey, you need to wrap it up. We're trying to finish
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, hey, you done? And I'm like, no, I'm not yet. And they're like, okay, well, yeah, our new season's coming out. We need the server. And I'm like, oh, crap. I never thought about, using this server to do the next season. So,
Yep.
man, that was a clear oversight in my part. But yeah, not going to be able to finish all that. But the editing in the episode is pretty much almost done. I probably have like 5 minutes. It's like 20 minutes in, to be honest. I was going to do a big time lapse of me detailing the base, but I'm going to have to leave that out. Maybe I'll throw some other stuff in there. There's a couple things I want to do to the base, but nothing that's going to take hours and hours. So hopefully I can get those done in time. But besides that, episode should be out this week. I'm going to do it as soon as it's done, because this weekend, hopefully, we'll start the new server and get going there. But yeah, I'd like to get it out before that.
Yeah, for those wondering, our first recording date is December 12th.
Mm-hmm.
So you should see, I know there will be some live streams that day.
Yeah.
But my first episode usually takes 5 days before it comes out. So
yeah, same here. About a week. I know another reason why I couldn't get all this finished. I got sick. I got a cold, and then I pulled my back out again at work.
Ooh.
So I was in bad shape for at least 4 days, and yeah, I just had no motivation to get on here and record anything. My voice wasn't really there, so I'm coming over it now. I'm feeling a lot better.
That's good.
Yeah, able to finish this. I think I'm gonna get the last voiceovers. I gotta do a little bit of voiceovers, and I like to mess with replay mod, so that takes a minute, but that's pretty much all I gotta do. Pretty excited for you guys to see it.
I was like, I can't wait. I've, again, seen 4 minutes of your episode, and I'm just like, yes.
Yeah, that's my week.
All right. And before we move on to the news, Carl has again put this giant holiday notice on our notes saying, as we mentioned last week, this will be our last episode before the holiday break. Carl really needs his break. For our Wither and Milk level patrons, we will release December's half stack on the 19th. And Carl will be here on January 5th for the best of 2021, with normal episodes returning January 12th.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'll add on to there, we do plan on doing some group live streams that we will post on the Withering Effect YouTube channel. They will probably take place on Twitch, because we're all Twitchers, but we'll post the replays on YouTube.
Yeah, or some highlights.
Or some highlights, maybe some clips and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they will probably take place in Ripple Season 4 of us messing around and stuff.
Yeah. Gotta get some server action.
Yeah. I'm so worried about next season because it's the most hyped I've ever been for a season. And I'm going in with next to nothing planned. Like, I have an idea and I have an aesthetic, but I have no building designs. I have no, reference images I can use. Every season I have reference images I can look at. This season I have nothing other than the block palette is wood and leaves. And the theme is wilderness.
Ooh. I like it.
Nothing else.
That's something.
It's something. But I have the feeling the first week I'll probably be living in a tent.
Yeah, I have an image I've been using just for some things. I don't want it completely off of that one image. But yeah, the look of the base is kind of, I'm going off of that. I don't want to share the image, though. It'll give it away. Can't do that.
We actually have some comments from the audience. For those of you who don't know, if you're a patron member, I think it's Milk level patrons, they get to talk live in the show. And ohbeep mentioned planning's overrated. You ripped up your plans last season.
You did.
And it's like, yes, but both bases still were completed, and both bases still had reference images I went off of. Even the underwater dome had a reference image. Yeah. That's why it's called Ripple. Emphasis on the rip. Let's hop in the news. We have a tiny bit of news. There's already a 1.18.1 in the works.
Mm-hmm.
They're on pre-release 1 for that. They fixed an issue that would cause players in low bandwidth connections to get timeout errors when connecting to a server. I get that sometimes, and VPN fixes that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still running on tiny bit of internet, but at least it's better connection.
Yeah, that's true.
World fog now starts further away from the player to make distant terrain more visible, and instead of applying the fog as a spherical volume, it's now applied as a cylindrical volume. So the tops of mountains won't be cut off while you're looking at the bottoms.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice change. That's like all of the pre-release 1 info.
Yeah, there's not a ton. It's mainly bug fixes. I don't think we're going to get like a 118.2 or 118.3 or anything like that.
Yeah, I think 117 only went to 2, right? Did it go to 3?
I think it only went to 1.
Yeah, we've only used 1. I thought it went to 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, we never went past 1. But then again, on Ripple, if the bug that causes a 0.2 or 0.3 doesn't affect us, we don't update, because we don't need it.
Yeah, really no reason to.
Like, I want to say for 116, what was it? We were on 116.2, and like they were all the way up to 116.4 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like,
oh yeah,
we don't have this problem, so we never updated it.
Mm-hmm. Then there's the fact that, you have to wait for the 117.2 or whatever updated version of Optifine, of Replay Mod.
Yeah.
So it's best to stay, in the comfort zone. If you're not having those issues, why upgrade?
Mm-hmm. Let's hop into some listener comments. We actually have 4 listener comments this week.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with the firster, because that makes complete and total sense to start there.
Yeah.
And they ask, do you think the new music in 118 has cheapened the old nostalgia of the older day? I guess they're talking about the older Minecraft music.
Yeah.
Or is it a good upgrade? I heard a lot of people complaining that C418 didn't do any of the new music. And for all we know, he was asked and didn't want to do the new music. So, not forget that option. And 2, I love the new music. I think it's very good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just kind of... You can feel a new generation of Minecraft like right around the corner, especially with the ginormous world gen changes coming in this update. So the fact that the music is now reflecting that, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't mind it. A lot of times when I hear the older music, from years past, you kind of, I don't know, you kind of feel like you're back in the old Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
And update and make things feel new, you got to switch it up once in a while. So maybe when that new music comes on, you'll get a new feel of the game now in the future. When you hear it again, you'll be like, oh, that Lena Rain soundtrack really takes me back,
Mm-hmm.
in like 5 or 6 years.
Exactly.
So I'm okay with that. Change it up with the change in the game. This is, like you said, it's a big world gen change, and it looks amazing. I was on there the other day playing with my son. He wanted to play Minecraft on his phone, like tablet phone type deal. So I jumped on the Bedrock version, and we played even the Bedrock version. It looked amazing. Everything looked great with the world gen, and everything moved pretty well. So I didn't get to hear any of the new music, though I do turn it down on Java.
Mm-hmm.
I had it on for Bedrock, and I didn't get to hear it there.
I'll start with, I think Bedrock will probably look better because they have better rendering abilities.
Mm-hmm.
They have further chunk rendering. And 2, yeah, I don't have the music playing while playing in Java. That's just basically a recording thing. But the background music in all my videos is all of the new 118 music. Like, that's what it's going to be for the season.
Nice.
I'm getting tired of getting copyright strikes on stuff that wasn't copyrighted at the beginning of the season and then becomes copyrighted halfway through.
Yeah, playing it safe.
Yep.
Might as well. Next question is from ShortZelda. She asked, New Year's resolutions? ? Now, we can go over... I'll give you a few resolutions of mine in real life, and then we'll talk about our channel's resolution. I've been going to the gym lately, working out. I started the middle of the year last year, and I want to keep that going all year long. I'm not going to be a bodybuilder or anything, but, I do want to stay in shape. I know this is like everyone wants to get in shape during the new year. I'm sure the gyms are going to be loaded with people. So that's the bad part about going to the gym. Yeah, all in all, I want to be in better shape. I want to get my mind right and make consistent recordings. I want to be more consistent. That's my channel resolution right there. I want to be consistent, and I want to work on my editing and base my episodes more around that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be, twice a week or try to get it out every Saturday, but I'm going to take my time and do it right. That's how I want to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, how about focus on one episode a week, considering you went 4 months with nothing?
Yeah. I mean, even if I can't get it out that week, maybe put it out a few days later instead of waiting for a whole nother week.
Well, and see, that's the way I go. I try for one episode a week. With my busy work schedule and stuff and how I record, so I'm not the fastest Minecraft player, and I'm even slower when it comes to recording. So I always aim for one a week, but if I can get it out within 10 days, I'm pretty happy with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially the amount of work you do.
Yeah.
On the server.
You can definitely watch my videos and tell I didn't just play the game for an hour and recorded within an hour.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of YouTube channels that are like, hey, daily content. And you can tell that they're only playing for a short period of time and they're just recording all of that.
Yeah.
No. Lots of work goes into my videos.
Yeah. And like I've said many times, it's, putting YouTube content together, Minecraft-wise or whatever content, really. It's work. It's actual work. Like, you got to put the time and effort in. There's sometimes you don't want to do it.
Yep.
But that's what makes it work.
So, it's really designing a base around something you want to do so it doesn't feel like work.
Right. Yeah, another resolution of mine, better throw that out there. I'm not going to build as big. I need to avoid the burnout and the grind.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be a small base. I already have it in mind, but it's not going to be, too overwhelming.
Right.
Let's just say that. My
resolutions all revolve around my channel. Like I was telling Jim before the show, the less you guys know my personal life, the better. I share enough of that on the half stacks. But I want my episodes to feel a bit more cinematic, which means the editing will probably be more involved than right now. Right now, I mainly spend about 5 minutes a day editing because of the way I record and edit and chop everything up.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be new, which means I really need some replay mod. I'm glad it's already in the beta version. We should be getting it really quickly. And there was another thing I wanted to do with my channel, and I can't remember what it was. I just lost it. My brain just said, "Bleh, we're done here." Oh, I want to be more detail-oriented in my builds. I think I already do a pretty good job of detailing things, but I kind of want to put that in overdrive this season.
Okay. The detailing is what hurt me.
Yes.
At the end.
Detailing is always the most grindy part.
Yeah, don't go full detail.
Yeah.
Was that it for resolution?
Yep, that's it.
Nice.
I'm not putting any goals out there because some of the goals I see people with 50 subs saying my goal for next year is 1,000 subs. And it's that's a lot of pressure to be putting on yourself.
Yeah, I never, try to give myself those kind of resolutions.
My goal is to continue having fun. And if I get subs out of it, that's going to be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to set yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen, then you're disappointed, but make a resolution that you can do if you put the effort in.
Our next question is from Weezergood, and they ask, what were our favorite builds or projects? I'm assuming over this past year.
Okay. Or just all in general.
I mean, all in general, and I don't think it matters. But I'm going to do one from this past year, since this is our year wrap-up.
That's a good point. Because I was going to say Prismarine Mountain. It was my favorite build. Because I got to complete it, for one.
Mm-hmm. In
the past year, I can't remember what all I've done a lot. I've done a lot this year. It might be the Iron Farm with
yeah, that's a cool build.
The Pillagers. Yeah, I think I've done that this year. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I have. It was this year. Yeah, I made a Iron Farm out of a Pillager. What is that? Outpost. Yes. And it went really well. It's different. Never seen anything like it, so had a lot of fun with that.
Mine's my bee farm room, which is also my worst performing YouTube episode. I love that room. I think it's gorgeous, and I think it's functionality wise, it's great. I think it came out at a time when everyone was doing bee farms, so the YouTube bee market was oversaturated.
It's always oversaturated.
But the design of the room I thought looked really cool. The fact that you had all the drops sliding down a honey wall that was backlit.
That was cool. Yeah.
I thought it was very cool.
Mm-hmm.
You could see the bees doing their little thing. You could access the droppers through chests on top. So when you were running low on shears and bottles, you could refill them without having to go in the back and do some crazy stuff. The fact that it was so accessible and it worked so well and it looked good. My favorite build this season.
Yeah.
No, I'm not trolling Jimbo at all. I found it funny that my favorite build was also my worst performing video. I always thought that was weird, but
yeah, it's all right.
My likes don't align with a lot of people's likes.
Yeah, you said you're making a bee farm, and I immediately thought, what is he going to do with these bees? Instead of farming them, I thought you had other plans.
Yeah, Jimbo thought I was going to prank him again, but it's like, nah, I really wanted, because the original plan was to use the beehive block as a flooring in a ceiling,
mm-hmm.
and it just came to the point where I never used it, which kind of stinks.
So always next season.
Yeah, always next season. With the new lighting changes, I won't have to build with half slabs as often.
Right.
Which I'm super excited for.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of building styles are going to be changing because of that.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to see a lot of unique stuff.
So excited for it.
Mm-hmm. I guess we can go to our last question from DiveClops23. Cool number. Question for Duds and Jimbo. What do y'all think the best way to explore Minecraft world? Like explore new updates, but keep explored chunks unexplored for future updates.
World border.
Yeah.
You kind of have to use world border if you're trying to save chunks, because you'll be like, oh, look at that hill over there. That looks cool. Oh, look at that hill over there. That's even more cool. Oh, look, there's an ocean over there with some coral reefs. I'm going to go look at that. And you're just going to keep going and going and going.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never messed with worlds like that. The border would be ideal. But usually, I don't know, can't you manually go in and use the chunks you want to update?
Well, you can trim chunks. I forget the program.
I think that's what it is.
That's called. I'm sure someone will remind us in the Discord or whatever. But you can go through and you can go and delete unused chunks. Like if you were only in the chunks passing by, the game records like, well, this chunk was only used for like 12 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then you tell the program, hey, any chunk that I was in for under 30 seconds, delete. And then so when you re-upload that world and you walk into that new or old chunk that's now a new chunk, you get new world gen.
Okay.
MCA selector is what I'm being told by ohbeep in chat.
Okay. Yeah, I've never really messed with that stuff.
I haven't either.
You talking about the world border makes me think of if you were to start a world and you had this world border, I don't know, let's say 1,000 blocks. You only have 1,000 by 1,000 land to work with. And then the next update comes out, you put out another 1,000 world border. You would have like a ring of updates in your world.
Yeah.
That would look pretty cool looking at it that way.
Well, you could do that now.
Yeah.
Go back, start an alpha world.
Oh, yeah.
And then just keep growing everything.
Mm-hmm. Have like the very middle, like the old school Minecraft, maybe every day.
Yeah.
Update a version. Well, that'd be, I don't know, maybe once a week you updated the game and made a new ring. I don't know, just sounds like a video idea.
But exploring in general, the elytra is still the best way to...
Yeah, is that what the question was?
That's what I'm assuming. It says, what do y'all think is the best way to explore a MC world? Well, an elytra, because you can get the height down look.
Yeah.
Or create a flying machine and stand on it.
Yeah, but if you were to go underground, elytra's still actually useful in these caves.
That's true. Boats were always the way I would get to my bases the first week or so.
Yeah, boats. But I was going to say, have a water bucket ready when you go down in the caves. It'll help you traverse the drops and stuff, the holes.
I think we answered that question, right?
I think so.
Well, thank you guys so much for those comments. They were from our Discord, and it's the only place where you can talk to everyone who works on the show easily. Just take YDYT's word for it.
Hey everyone, I'm YDYT and I'm a member of the Withering Effect Discord. It's a great place to hang out with fellow listeners like me and the people who work on the show. So join today and let's discuss the game we love. There are links in the show notes.
Thanks for the Discord at YDYT. And speaking of the Discord, it's the only place you can get involved in our Mending Minecraft vote. This week we asked you to choose between one of 3 items for us to discuss and improve, and your choices were the golden apple, dyes, and flint and steel.
And the winner of Mending Minecraft this week is... dyes.
I totally guessed this one wrong. I would have assumed everyone was going to pick golden apple.
You did. You even mentioned that to me in the Discord. Actually, golden apple got last.
Yeah.
With 7 votes. Next was flint and steel with 8, which isn't, just one more. And then dyes had 42 votes. I was pretty surprised too.
Mm-hmm.
A few things on the dyes. Dyes are a set of 16 items, colors, used to change the color of wool, terracotta, certain mobs, the pattern of banners, shulker boxes, glass, concrete powder, candles, beds, fireworks, stars, and text on signs. In Bedrock Edition, they can also be used to dye water in a cauldron. This is for leather armor, I believe. Dyeing leather armor or horse armor.
Mm-hmm.
Dyes can be produced by crafting them from plants, mainly flowers, by crafting dyes of different colors together, by smelting plants, or by trading with wandering traders. So, that's all I have for the dyes. I could go over the colors, but I'm pretty sure we know all the colors of the dyes.
Yeah, and if I thought golden apple was going to be hard to fix, dyes is a bit harder.
Yeah. Figured it'd be rough.
Something that doesn't exactly pertain to dyes is I want the Bedrock version of colored water in cauldrons.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. I don't know why we can't have that in Java.
Same here.
That's something I'd like. I'd like to be able to take any wool type and be able to dye the wool a new color.
Yeah, re-dye it.
Even if that means I have to wash the wool, is something I'd like.
I agree.
It just kind of makes sense. Granted, sheep farms are super easy now, and you can get any color in the rainbow through one of those.
Mm-hmm.
But the big fix I have for dyes is I want you to be able to use them as paint. Whether that's where you have to create paint or you have to use a paintbrush tool. I don't like creating new stuff for Mending Minecraft. I like fixing existing, but dyes in the game now do what dyes do.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. It's just such a weird phrase to say, but the idea of being able to paint blocks, I think, is something people have been wanting for forever. And by that, I mean you place a block down and you click on the block with the dye. One dye does one surface face of the block. So if you want 4 surface of the block, you use 4 dyes. Now, all it's going to do is change the color of the surface, the underneath texture. So if you're using brick, it will still look like brick. If you're using wood log, it will still look like wood log. If you're using planks, it still looks like planks.
Mm-hmm.
To me, this is a way you can fix some textures that people don't like using, a la purple, because that purple has a very slim chance of being used in any of my builds, and dye it. And then you can get a completely different block without adding new blocks to the game, because once you break said block, the paint falls off. So it becomes the normal purple block, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I could see a base being made out of obsidian and dyed, so it could be indestructible.
Yeah, you could do stuff like that. I mean, when it comes to dyes, I think Mojang's done it correctly. And the fact that flowers are how a lot of dyes are made in real life, the fact that they've added so many flowers so you can easily get these new dyes. Flower farms are relatively easy to create. I mean, there wasn't a lot to do to dyes to fix them. So I was just thinking, how can I advance dyes? What's the most natural progression of dyes? And I think that's paint.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do it in a way so I'm not creating anything new. So you're still using a dye on a block. So we're not creating new blocks because you break the block and it disappears.
Yeah, you're just giving it a surface.
Exactly.
Color, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of games I play, when you find dye, that's what it's for.
Exactly.
You can make some kind of paint out of it.
Yep. I got the idea from, what's the game? I bought you that we haven't played yet?
Scrap Mechanic.
Scrap Mechanic. That's where I got the idea from.
Okay. I see it in 7 Days to Die. I see it on Raft.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's 3 games right there.
Yeah. So, I mean, it makes complete sense. And I get not wanting to add 16 color variations to a block type.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to paint surfaces, I think, is the most logical step.
What if you can get that ability to use the cauldron and get, millions of different combinations to paint with? That would be huge.
So you're saying you could fill a cauldron with water, throw your dyes in the cauldron to change the cauldron into the color you want, and dip your paintbrush into the cauldron and then walk over and paint the surface of the block.
Or you have a new workstation where you mix your paint in and you can get all these different colors.
A paint mixer.
Yeah, it's simple enough.
For those of you who don't know what a paint mixer is like in real life, you take a can of paint, usually it's a white paint, and they pour their dye mixture in there. They put the lid back on, and they put it in this machine that grabs both ends of the can and just shakes it like crazy for like 5 or 10 minutes.
It's almost like vibrating it. That's how fast it shakes.
Yeah. So I'm imagining now a workstation that just has this paint bottle that's moving like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities considering we have the table saw style workstation.
Yeah. And this is all possible because, when we saw the archaeology update, they did have brushes.
They did.
And now it is for brushing artifacts, but maybe it'll have another use.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. But we don't know much about it. It's not coming out anytime soon, as far as we know. So
yeah. Archaeology's been put on the back burner for now.
Mm-hmm. But still in the realm of possibilities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it. Is that it for the dye?
That's all I have. Like I said, I felt dyes are done pretty well with Minecraft. So all I did was a natural progression of them.
Nice. I would like to see wool dyed a little differently. That 1-to-1 deal. That's for the birds.
Yeah.
I'd like to dye wool a little bit better. I do like the re-dyeable idea, but to dye more wool with what you have would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, with the sheep farms nowadays, you don't, I don't know, dyeing wool seems like more of using resources than to just make a sheep farm.
Right, because sheep farms are so easy.
Mm-hmm. You dye the sheep once, and it produces as many of that color wool as the farm works.
Yeah. Should we go ahead and move into our main topic?
Yes.
All right. This one was reminded to me last night by Not Red Fox, and we meant to talk about resource packs at some point.
Then who told you?
Say what?
If it wasn't Red Fox, then who was it?
I don't know, maybe Blue Fox, but
okay.
It definitely was not Red Fox.
I didn't think it was.
No, it was.
That was a dad joke. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. I heard you say it wasn't, or it was not Red Fox that gave it.
It was not Red Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, dad jokes aside, because it's too early in the morning for me to be thinking like that. Yeah, so when it comes to resource packs, as YouTubers, we kind of like to keep our resource packs close to vanilla as possible, right?
Right.
There are YouTubers who obviously go further than that, but Jimbo, what's the most common question you get on your YouTube videos? Jimbo's like, I hadn't done one in 4 months. I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't get many questions.
The most common question I get on my videos is, what block was that?
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
At least once a week I get the question asked, what block did you use? And then they mention where I placed it. Which is surprising because I use a very vanilla tweaks as my main resource pack. There have been people who ask me about my GUI, which is a GUI from like 2016. I found randomly on Reddit, some guy was like, hey, I'm beta testing this. Can you guys use it? And I fell in love with it. I can't remember the name of it now, but if you watch my streams and you go, hey, what texture packs are you using? I'll make sure to point that one out because I really like that guy's GUI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so talking resource packs, YouTubers generally try to stay vanilla because of those questions, but there are some really good resource packs out there that have made me think about doing dedicated series
Yeah.
to like just be able to use. Like BD Craft is the big one I want to use. That one's completely different from anything else I've done. And I think that would allow me to use different palettes that I've ever used before. The only problem is you don't want to build with that kind of resource pack on an SMP because other people will walk to your base and be like, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, they see something different. That is the problem with it. I've never seen the BD Craft resource pack.
It's very cartoony.
Okay.
Which is really fun.
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
FragileRock mentions Optifine does change some textures. I've noticed the grass block in your vids duds where you seem to have grass size turns on. That is actually not Optifine. That's Vanilla Tweaks.
Mm-hmm.
I know Optifine does do that, but that part is all Vanilla Tweaks. I think I have that actually turned off in Optifine. I don't know. But yeah, BD Craft is one that I've thought about doing an entire dedicated series on just so I could use that resource pack because it's really cool and it's out there and
it is different.
I don't want to do it on an SMP because I think some of my builds would end up looking extremely weird from other people's point of views.
Yeah, maybe.
That being said, My Own Survival is not a series that generally does very well. And essentially, I'm kind of doing exactly what I would do in Ripple, just on a smaller scale. So I'm wondering if I start a different series focusing on that BD Craft texture pack as a single player series. That could be fun.
Yeah, I was considering a single player world, but I have my eyes on the stylized texture pack.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, you got to be a patron to get it. But I feel like with the shaders that I was able to get before I got a new graphics card, should be able to run a lot better. Also, mixing that with the stylized texture pack might be worth, starting in a single player world. It would give it a different look and feel. But if I were to make some kind of cinematic video, I think it would go well with that.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of storyline.
Was it Patrick's texture pack?
Yeah.
Patrix is actually a really good realistic style texture pack.
Yep.
That's so cool.
I have that one too. It looks great with foliage too.
Yes.
Foliage looks awesome. If you guys like to build with bushes, well, leaf blocks, I guess it'd be trees, grass, whatever. Patrick's looks great.
Vanilla Tweaks has the bushy foliage,
mm-hmm.
which
I was going to mention that too.
It is the big reason I use Vanilla Tweaks. One, Vanilla Tweaks is the easiest texture pack to use, and it's the most customizable texture pack in the entire internet.
Very convenient.
So GG's to those guys. They don't get enough praise. A lot of texture pack creators don't get enough praise. So if you see someone who's creating texture packs, give them a thumbs up. They deserve it. That's a lot of hard work.
Mm-hmm. And there's so many different things involved with it, not just textures. Like some items you can have look a little more 3D and nothing too like overwhelming.
I'm big on some of the 3D stuff, like ladders, rails. Those are my big things that I always have to have 3D. I lose immersion when I see rails on the ground and they're just a flat texture.
Yeah, that flatness.
Oh, that hurts me so much. Ladders aren't as bad because I've grown accustomed to pulling my ladder out from the wall and using oak trapdoors as the surface to put the ladder on. So it gives it an even more 3D effect.
Mm-hmm. Like we said, we don't want to take away from other people that happen to see your build on the server.
Yeah.
Like there are texture packs that, like for instance, there's a black nether brick that's involved with Vanilla Tweaks. The other players aren't going to see it as black. So make sure when installing some of these that it's just you seeing these, actually.
Mm-hmm. What about connected glass? Because that seems to be one that
yes,
everyone's using nowadays. I see that's part of your nodes.
Yeah, that's a must. Put that in there. There's different glass textures you can get. I think I have car locks.
Yeah.
Glass textures. As long as there's no new colors coming out, I don't think I'll need to update that. Though we do have the tinted glass. Is that just one color, the tinted glass?
Yeah.
Or can you have colored tinted glasses?
You can't do colored tinted glass.
Okay. So that might be a different texture.
It's always this like black with a slight purple tint to it.
Yeah, that's what I usually saw, but I wasn't sure. Oh, I've never crafted it yet. Huh. We had it last for 117, right?
Yeah, I didn't craft it either.
Yeah, it's not even in my storage. That's weird. I have everything in my storage except tinted glass.
Yep. I never crafted tinted glass or a spyglass, which was funny because I was a pirate all last season.
Right. Yeah. You better get on there and craft one just to do it.
The only thing I have left to do for last season is go empty my ender chest. That's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that might be something I need to do. But yeah, Optifine is big when connecting the glass textures. Are there other ways to connect them?
That's as far as I know. I know there are some texture packs that try to do the clean look, which can give you a bit of a faux connected textures.
Okay.
But I haven't seen it done correctly yet. No.
Yeah, as far as I know, I just, combine the Optifine with a nice clear glass texture pack.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the lines, especially if you're going to use a lot of glass.
Yeah.
The lines can make it a little too noisy.
And I can, for anyone who doesn't want to use Optifine and connected textures, but you kind of want that look, using light gray stained glass, that's what I use. And that gives you the very subtle vertical and horizontal lines.
Yep, it's a good call.
So there's a little trick to get around that.
It hides it a little bit. Yeah. I just realized there's little previews on Vanilla Tweaks that let you see on the side what they look like in game.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Like I said, Vanilla Tweaks is the end-all be-all when it comes to texture packs for me. Basically, if you see it on the screen, 99% of it's from Vanilla Tweaks, except for my GUI. Well, next season, not so much. There's a winter data pack that has its own texture pack included with it. You'll be seeing on the server. Everyone on the server has to download it, so be prepared.
Yeah, I am excited about those. Been working a lot.
I am too. Carl made mention of adding custom paintings to the resource pack. I think he's wanting to do something with the Nether Hub that's going to require those. We've been doing the giant map plots for a couple seasons now, and those are just so much work and so much of a grind. I don't think anyone wants to do those anymore.
Yeah, unless, someone has some kind of project they need it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be messing with those.
I also wanted to point out Xeno's Colorful Containers GUI and Advanced GUI resource packs. Now, these aren't the packs I'm using in my world, but they're definitely packs I've thought about using because it makes the crafting bench, the stone cutter, librarian inventory stuff look a whole lot neater and more interactive, if that makes sense. And I really like them, and I'm considering dropping my old GUI because as of right now, it doesn't line up anymore with the texture packs because we have so many new things to Minecraft now. It was created before stone cutters and grindstones and things like that. So I'm considering jumping on these GUI packs and testing them out for a bit. They do look really cool.
Yeah, GUI resource packs I've always been interested in, but I've never, took the step to implement them. Always felt like the game should have a cool new looking GUI, and they haven't messed with that yet. So
no, and the GUIs we have now do the job, but they're nothing special.
Yeah, and I'm not familiar with the one you're talking about. I might have to check it out.
Yeah, I see you highlighting and copy paste.
I just copied and pasted it.
They're very good looking packs. They're simple and not over the top, which is what I like. When you get a little over the top, it becomes a bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
But like putting the crafting table texture behind the 9x9 grid when you enter the crafting table, that's a nice little detail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like what I'm seeing here, even like the hopper container GUI is different. It lets you know where the first item comes in and the next one comes out. Apparently it works left to right in the hopper, and this lets you know that. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I think the brewing stand actually has a lot of the potions in the GUI for you.
Oh, does it?
So it takes a lot of the guesswork out too.
Yeah, that would help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like the crafting table. Love it. Cartography table. That's different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they touched basically every table. And then also when you're trading with villagers, the inventory there is changed up a bit. Like it shows you a image of your villager and lets you know using that little belt that tells you what grade villager they are. Are they like a master or whatever it is, what their rankings are? I think that's included also.
Hmm.
They're very helpful.
Yeah, it's always nice to know that.
Like, I think I've just talked myself into using one of these.
The good thing about it, like we said earlier, it doesn't involve your multiplayer like feel. Like, you're not changing any blocks. People don't see this. It's just you and your GUI.
Yep.
You're just changing, and it's a subtle change. It's not like anything to make it look too different.
Yeah.
Just nice. It's pretty convenient too.
I will throw in one thing that Carl mentioned. He can't personally be here to speak for it, and is, why are all the GUIs not already in dark mode? And I kind of agree with that. Like, everything should have dark mode. I know you can do dark mode on vanilla tweaks, so there's that, but I don't think dark mode works with all the other textures for some reason, which I always thought was a little weird. Like, I think if you want the dark mode and the number on the hotbar, like, those two textures don't work together. I might have that wrong, but yeah, dark mode GUIs, come on now.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I feel like my day, at least for an hour, is going to be me messing with vanilla tweaks and getting my new texture pack or resource pack ready.
Yeah.
For the season. It's a must.
When I sit down and watch my football game this afternoon, while the football game's on one screen, I'm very much getting my music in place for next season. I'm getting my texture packs in place for next season. And I already have my thumbnail done. So that's cool.
Oh, for next season?
Yep, I've got that. That's finished and ready to go. At least the template, I should say, the thumbnail template for next season is all done.
Okay. Thought you did the whole thumbnail already.
And I need to get the description set up. We have so many new people on Ripple Effect. We've got to get the description updated.
Right. Yeah. Usually we get that taken care of in the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it a lot easier to share. Copy and paste.
Copy paste.
It's a great mechanic.
All right. But I think that's going to do it for today's show. Before I have Jimbo read us out, I want to say a huge thank you to all of our patrons who are supporting the show. Our milk level patrons are Aubni, ChiefBigBear, Crock, FragileRock, ohbeep, and viperoustuna. If you too would like to get access to exclusive benefits and hours of extra content each month, please consider joining at patreon.com/The Withering Effect.
And if you like the show, you could share it with all of your friends and on social media. If you listen on Spotify, follow us. Or if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave us a nice review. Doing any of these really helps the show reach more listeners. If you'd like to get in contact with us, send an email to podcast@thewitheringeffect.com, tweet us, leave a voice message, or join our Discord where you can have a chat with everyone who works on the show and fellow listeners. All the links will be in the show notes.
This show has been brought to you by Jimbo and myself, but also our digital producer Carl. He helps make sure the show ends up where it should be, and the amazing music you hear in the intro and outro is created by the one and only Decoy. Everyone's social media info can be found in the show notes. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for getting withered with us this year. You should probably go drink your milk now.
And happy holidays. Happy New Year. See you guys.
See you guys.